Hi, folks. Welcome back to. I was going to say Peter Goes Rogue, but it's actually back to the normal channel. But I want to talk about Peter Goes Rogue. Peter Goes Rogue is suffering at the moment through lack of subscribers. Now, a lot of you have, in fact, very kindly subscribed. Lots of my sort of weekly regulars, but there's still quite a few of you that come in and enjoy the modelling channel that have not subscribed to my other channel. How could you? How could you? Please subscribe. Look, I've got no gloves on today. You can tell it's Peter Goes Rogue. You can tell I've just finished doing my modelling. And no, I'm not modelling wearing these clothes either. Just so you know. But please, will you subscribe to Peter Goes Rogue? I'll put the link below. So what happened is this year, I think the timing of launching my channel was just unlucky because within a week or two of it launching, YouTube went into this very strange mode, if that's the right word, of a completely new algorithm which they seem to have developed, which was a very strange thing that they seem to have done, where some of you will be aware of this, I know, but they just had this AI-driven algorithm. They brought it in mid-August, I think it was, and a lot of channels, much bigger channels than my little teensy-weensy modelling channel and my tiny Peter Goes Rogue channel, much bigger channels than me have had a lot of trouble with this. Some very famous channels, things like Black Belt Barrister and and I've forgotten the other one that does all the cartoony stuff and the game playing channel. I've forgotten the name. Forgive me, but I did talk about this a few months ago now. Some people are getting quite cross about it now. It does seem to have improved a little bit. The two things that were happening, or three things. One, people were getting offered very old stuff, and I mean 10 years old. And it was offering me 10 years old stuff that I've watched over and over. And it's like, well, you don't need to show me that again. And from channels, in my case, perfect example, Harry's Garage, I follow, motor cars, motoring. And it was showing me stuff from 9 years ago, something I've seen about 12 times. And there was stuff he did last week, it wasn't offering me. So it went a bit mad, really, in terms of what they're offering. So it's not been offering people's new material, which is very frustrating. You would think that, and I'm talking about, when I say offering people, I mean subscribers. If you subscribe to a channel, you're telling YouTube, I want to watch Harry's Garage or Peter Ox's Modelling Lab, or whatever it is. I want to watch that. So it's like, tell me when they come out. And it's not doing that. It's not telling you. And it's frustrating because I've had so many people when we've had live chat and they've walked in halfway through and said, look, I didn't get an alert that there was a new video out. Even in some cases when it's been up for 24 hours before the video went premiere, and it's been slated for its premiere a day before, and people who want to see it still not getting told that it's there, which is just weird. And it's like the algorithm has taken over. So there's a couple of elements to this. There's the fact that they're offering old stuff. There's also just the number of views. I became a bit suspicious about the number of views that people seem to have seen a big dip. Lots of people have seen a big dip around August, September. Makes you cynical about whether it's real numbers or not. Start to question the numbers. Anyway, things we can do to correct this is please subscribe to both the modelling channel and Peter Goes Rogue. Link below. And I'll put you sort of a link over here. Is it over here? Is it over there? Yeah, over there. Because I see things in reverse. And subscribing, and then ding the notification bell. But when you do ding the notification bell, you need to make sure that your preferences for notifications is set to all, not YouTube's own system, which they call what's it called? Not tailored. My brain's gone blank. Personalized. They call it personalized for you, as though it's something special just for you. No, it means that personalized is what they deem it to be, basically. All means all. So if you put all, you should always get a notification from me, and this applies to everybody else's channel as well. If you put all, you'll get told. But if you put personalized, you're actually handing the control to them. Personalized means what they think you want to see, what they want you to watch, and not what you want to watch. And it's a complete misnomer, isn't it, really? Totally false use of language, I think. It's not personalised. Personalised, surely, is Show me those things I've told you I want to see, that I personally want to watch, and they're not doing that. Anyway, rant over, But that's the way around it. So make sure you ding the all. You are a subscriber. Your notifications ding all. Notify me. Bingo. And that should really solve the problem. To be honest, it should. Underlined. So it's just been a little bit of a hard thrash, So as I say, I launched the channel just at the wrong time in some respects, when this weird thing started happening right across the board, nothing to do with me. And it's just really held us back a little bit. And we're almost 2/3 of the way to being monetized on that channel in terms of viewing hours, but we've only got 3/4 of the way there in terms of numbers of subscribers. And that channel includes, takes a deep breath, includes what we've got on there. We've got military aircraft, we've got children's puppet show of all things, which was there's no children in it, just children's puppet show, which was filmed at a car show. We've got car show itself, lots of stuff on cars actually. We've got history talks. I'm putting the history talks and the sort of historical discussions, looking at TV and film, something I might talk about more over Christmas. I might do some film reviews. See if you agree with me. I mean, I did talk, I know, about Star Wars at some length, but that was in the context of another video. So, film reviews, talking about historical figures, people like Steve McQueen. We talked about the Battle of Britain. We have talked about, I did a tribute to Sharkey Ward, the Falklands veteran hero who passed away 2024, sadly, in May. And that was very, very popular. So we've got a real variety of stuff. Then we had a tribute to Thunderbirds, another one for UFO, everybody's favourite sort of TV science fiction programmes. What's that I hear you say? Space 1999? No, not that one. That I'll leave to others, yeah. But you see what I mean? There's a variety of stuff on there. And then we've also had Unveiling the Porsche. Oh my goodness. So I unveiled my greatest secret, which was my very, very long held thing I didn't discuss with anybody, which was my Porsche sports car, which was quite popular. And I've got quite a few fans that have got Porsches themselves now have come, and they're keenly watching those programs. And we'll do a bit more about cars. Because of the time of year, it caught me out a little bit. If we were still in the summer, I'd be doing more about cars now. Not the Porsche, about other cars and other motoring related issues. We're going to talk about potholes coming soon. I'm waiting for the really cold weather to hit, and then I'll be out there talking about potholes. And I guarantee I'll make it both very amusing and very, very frustrating. It'll be a pothole rant like you've never seen coming soon. That's another one I'm going to be doing. And we're going to be doing all sorts of things like that, things that interest people and affect people, the sort of subjects that are not model related but are still perhaps entertaining and looking at them in a different way. I'm going to be doing some cookery, talking about food and drink over Christmas. And yeah, just a variety of different things, and a few talks about society and I'm not going to get into politics or religion. I don't really want to do that, but I'm going to have general talks about the way people approach things, and we seem to live in very, very tough times at the moment, very, very strange times. I think very strange times, and how to keep a grip on reality, things like that I think will entertain you and hopefully make you have a laugh as well, something different. But anyway, the important thing is I really want to appeal that you actually join as a subscriber for Peter Goes Rogue, and we can only do these things really if you come on board. So please subscribe, ding the subscription bell for Peter Goes Rogue. Go and have a look at what's on there already. I mean, there's absolutely tons of stuff. We talked about the Apollo space program. We've had Lancaster bombers, my Spitfire flight. Yeah, you see my certificate over my shoulder there. I flew in a Spitfire this autumn. So that was, it's been an amazing year actually on over on the the main channel, because it was 10 years on YouTube. It was 10,000 subscribers. I revealed my Porsche. I flew in a Spitfire. It's been a remarkable year, to be quite honest. Remarkable year. So a lot of things have been going on. Quite a big year 2025 was. I don't see how 26 can live up to that, really, because we won't be doing... I'm not going into space or anything. I'm not going to do, Katy Perry. Somebody said, you're going to go into space with Bezos. Do a Katy Perry and kiss the ground when you get out. No, I don't think so. That's what we're not doing, okay? Anyway, please support the other channel. Now, I have to say to you that I am reviewing, and I've talked about this briefly before. I am reviewing my situation with regard to YouTube because I don't feel it's giving me the return I need, and that unless that improves, which I don't think it's going to under the current system, if you like, I will have to make some changes. That might mean many things. It might mean me going to Patreon. It might mean me going to memberships. But it's just not paying, enough for me to give the amount of content. And I hope you agree, the quality of content that I'm doing, it requires a huge investment of time. So I'm going to have a look at how we're doing that, because I can't continue, and it annoys me, I have to say, and I'm sure many of you will understand when I say this. When I get people pop up, not the regular viewers and subscribers, but these people that pop up and make an unpleasant comment, and don't do that, I don't like the way you did that, or don't do it that way, do it this way. And you're thinking, dude, you paid nothing to me for this. It's cost you nothing. And I may have spent literally an entire day or more working on something, in fact, it's just reminded me, if I got my computer, the one I need isn't here. I was going to talk to you about this issue. I've been having lots of issues with uploading and the sheer time that I have to put into it. There's a couple of issues, the things I can improve, like changing the way I do the files and stuff like that. But one of the big issues we've got where we live is the speed of the broadband is very, very poor. And it's so bad we've decided to dump the traditional broadband cable, and we've gone to Starlink. We've actually got Starlink now. So you're watching this via me having recorded it and uploaded it from Starlink. And we're getting 4 to 6 times the speed that we used to get before on the traditional broadband. The problem was we couldn't get broadband directly to our door. So we've now, as I speak, I was going to show you a photo because it would make you laugh, but we've actually got Starlink in the garden, stood on a sort of like a bar table, like a high table, like this height, pointing in the right direction. And then there's a lead all the way down the garden through the window. It's all very crude, but we're having it professionally fitted in about a week's time. So it'll all be mounted upon the roof where it's supposed to be and all that stuff. But that's been another issue where we've had the sheer amount of time. You have no idea how much time is taken to make these videos, and it's not the time in front of the camera that's the problem. This bit you see, that's the nice bit, if you like. It's the rest of it. It's painful, and it's so much time involved in uploading and preparing and choosing this and choosing that and putting a thumbnail up and But the worst part is the upload, which has been taking typically up to 5.5 or even 6 hours in one recent case. Absolutely crazy. So we've now cured that, or certainly improved it a lot. But it costs money, So we've had to upgrade things. And, to make this viable, there has to be some return. I'm not trying to make I think it's unlikely I'm going to make a living out of this, because you just can't. Actually, you just can't. But there has to be some return that pays for sundries. I mean, I've got a slight issue with my main camera, which is making some slightly worrying noises when the zoom is operating. And when it first focuses in, when I switch it on, it's making a squealing noise like it needs a service, or it's like the motor needs lubrication or something. It's not great. So that's why I'm filming on this one today. So these things cost money, and this camera we're filming on, that was about, I think, £400 or something stupid. Was it more? Not cheap. Maybe more than that, I think. It was 600. And these things cost money, and that has to be paid for somehow. And YouTube take a cut out of it. There are sponsorship deals that I've had offered to me this year, which would amuse and interest you all, I won't go into the details, but I've been offered about 5 different sponsorship deals now, none of which have impressed me. One of which I was interested in, but I became convinced was a scam. It was a scam, and therefore I approach these things with great caution. But yeah, I am very lucky in that some of you that watch the program actually loan me some new kits. Many of you are doing that now, loaning me brand new kits that come straight to me, which is brilliant, And it does reduce the overhead because there's no way I could afford on this channel to buy the kits, every kit, to buy every one of them and actually pay for it myself and just to review it. That would be hugely loss making and would not justify itself on any level whatsoever. So we're not doing that, I'm afraid. That's something I used to do probably 2 years ago, and I've sort of not really needed to do that. So that's a good sign that I'm getting supported by the viewers, which is really, really appreciated. And I think the recent issue we had with the fallout from the Airfix quality issues on the 109, on some of them, not all of them, of course. I think that has demonstrated to people that I am a source of factual integrity, that I am not going to give something a pass because it was given to me or whatever. Something's good, however it was obtained, I'll say it's good. Airfix's Jaguar was fantastic, and I paid for that out of my own pocket. And then I had another kit that I paid for, the Stalwart, not so good. And then obviously the 109, which they very kindly donated, a big pardon. They donated that kit too in the end, but that's not going to make me change the input or the integrity of how I appraise something. It's very much appreciated, and I think it's sensible of them to do that, as long as I'm sure they don't expect anything. I mean, same with ICM. They know that I will criticise things if I see something I think isn't very good, or things about instructions I criticise, or parts are missing I've criticised. I will tell it like it is, and I think that's very important that we have. You can't have a situation where you're watching people's reviews and you're thinking, yeah, but we know that he didn't want to show something that was bad and wanted to just send it back to them. You can't have that. It's got to be, as Phil Flory recently said, he said the same thing as me. He said, I can only judge the kit that's in front of me, and I will judge it fairly and truthfully. And I'm exactly the same. That's one thing about us that is identical. And that's correct. That's the way it should be done, If you don't want a bad review, don't send me a bad kit. But it should be representative. It should be representative. Trouble is with that issue that obviously Airfix had. I'm not trying to get back into that. But it's, some had perfect kits. If I had a perfect kit, it would have been a perfect review. It would have been 10 out of 10, pretty much. Maybe 9.75. It would have been almost 10 out of 10, pretty much. And everything in the garden would be lovely. However, it's probably a good thing that it wasn't like that, because this incident has been almost a vehicle to demonstrate to the viewer that they can trust what I'm saying, which is important for me. I want you to believe me. That's the most important thing. And the best way to make people believe you is to constantly demonstrate your integrity. And I think that's what we try to do. I'm not trying to be a saint or anything. There's things I miss. There's sometimes, I've seen, there've been several reviews I've done when I've actually missed flaws, and I've seen them on the playback because the zoom lens has got better magnification than my eyes. That's not covering it up. That's just genuinely missing it. But I wouldn't cover up ever anything that I wasn't happy with. It for me, it's got to be, So if I say a kit's 10 out of 10, you can go out and buy it with confidence, based on what I saw. That doesn't mean that I don't think other people are having the same issues, but that doesn't mean that, like in the case of the Airfix, that there might be bad ones out there. But I will tell you what's in front of me, and if I miss something that is a fault, I welcome anybody saying you missed such and such. Did you notice it? 33 minutes 15, whatever it is, you missed this. But fine, absolutely great. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Other people might just delete your comment, but not me. Not me. If I've missed something, then just shout up by all means, every time. Anyway, the point of this, I'm going rambling on a bit now, but I'm not trying to be all virtuous and perfect, because it just proves that I can make mistakes like anybody can. And I've done that several times in reviews. I've just not spotted stuff, But I won't gloss over something I do see. If I see something, I sort of zoom straight in. um, and I think it's important that people have that confidence in what they're hearing and seeing. But I need support. I need support. So whether I say we go to Patreon or whether we go to memberships, I'd be very interested in hearing what people think. Actually, what is your view? Would you prefer memberships? And then, of course, we have to set a price which is sensible, not detrimental or deterrent to people. But I do, as I say, I do get frustrated when people sort of start making critical comments and thinking, you paid nothing for this. You got this for nothing. How dare you? I don't mind a genuine criticism or an error, or that's fine. When people start, oh, I think you should do it like such and such, and I think you should do it this way and that way, and then you're thinking, well, dude, the day you pay me is the day you can have some input into that kind of thing. Don't start lecturing me on how the channel should be run when you're not paying for it. That's like not paying a TV license. Perhaps that's a bad example, perhaps. But you know what I mean. Not paying for it. You're not paying for a service, and yet you want to say how or control or have input into how it's being delivered. Well, if you're paying for it, then you have a right to be respected, and your views have a right to be heard. But not so much if you're not paying anything to it. So people got to remember that if they're not, they're getting something free. You can't expect to then dictate terms about how it's going to be delivered or what the style of it is and stuff like that. That's not realistic. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, if I was to go to memberships or something like that, as others have done, then I would certainly be more open to input from the people who are financing it. Definitely. But again, it won't become like the model scenario where it doesn't give you control, but certainly some influence. Yeah, that's fair. So that's something I'm looking at for the future. I think that once we're past kits of the year and we're into January, I think I'm going to be sitting back and having a long think about this and how it it evolves in the future, because I think that the model. I like the way that the channel has evolved with more input and kits coming from the subscribers themselves, because it means you are having an input and you are having some involvement. Excuse me, but it's not paying. It's not paying its way for me. It's not justifying my time or the effort. Uh, huge amount of effort has gone into this in the last 12 months. I've never worked harder. I haven't actually added up. We'll talk at the end of the year, but I've never worked harder. I mean, was it in November or October or November? Was it October? 22, 23 videos, I think it was. And I think it's something similar this month. Maybe not quite as many, maybe about 18, 19. It's a lot of videos. If you work out that, if you averaged them out and said that the average is about 50 minutes to an hour, that's like 16, 17 hours. That's just the easy bit. And then you multiply that by about 5 for the upload time. So that's let's say 15 hours. That's about 60, 70 hours. So that's more than an entire week's work there now. Then there's all the prep that has to be done. Things like the thumbnails, shooting photos for thumbnails, and you're soon up to 120, 130 hours plus. And for something that's not generating too much at all, that you start to realise that actually you wouldn't want to be doing this really. And several of you that are watching have got your own channels now, and I think you appreciate how tricky it is to get things right. And I don't get things all right. There's always something I'm not happy with. I think things like the lighting is good and the photography is good. Sometimes the slickness of the reviews could be better by editing, but I don't like editing because it tends to impact, I think, on the. I don't like the jumps. I prefer the shooting it in the fireside chat style in one take, which I think a lot of people enjoy. And those of you that say, I just want my reviews to be 10 minutes, well, don't come here then. That's fine. I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. If that's what you want, this is not the channel for you then. Because this tends to be very detailed reviews, and I go in depth with it, talk about the history, If you just want to see somebody waving their hands around in front of the camera with some plastic in 10 minutes, then this is not the place for you, which is fine. We're not all going to do it the same way. I don't know why people would think that, really. Variety is the spice of life. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll wind it up here and just say that we are having a review of how this will change. The 2026 is going to see a lot of changes, I think, on the channel. But Peter Goes Rogue needs your support. That whilst it's a real heavy uphill battle, once I am monetized, which we're very close to now, actually. If people just keep subscribing, please. But we're very close to it. We're 3/4 of the way there, and we are more than 2/3 of the way there in terms of watch hours. Once that's going to generate some interest, it will become easier. It's not easy to get the views when you've got a second channel because people don't automatically just click over, But I think it will be at least I won't be doing it for nothing. And that's been the case. I mean, I've put a lot of effort into that, driving my car around and burning up fuel, which is very expensive, and all for no reward at all. Nothing. Not a penny, not a cent did I get from any of those Peter Go Rogue videos, not one. Purely for your entertainment, even the rant about planning and developers. Which, by the way, I won't say too much now, but yeah, slightly more optimistic about that. There's been a bit of a setback for the developers, but I won't get my hopes up too high. I'm touching the wood here. I think, fortune may have turned and maybe shining on us again, but we shall see. I shan't get too optimistic yet. But yeah, things like that, the sheer variety of stuff that we've done, we've talked about those sort of things and various other things that seem to interest people, and affect a lot of other people too. So, please bear with us. Please subscribe to Peter Goes Rogue, my second channel. Did I say that already? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. But support us if you can, and it's much appreciated. And I say the support I've had this year from the subscribers and the support I got at Telford was absolutely amazing. I don't know if I said this. I had, I think I did, didn't I? On the first day, within the first 15 minutes, I just got accosted by people right, left, and centre. And it was almost like I could see the day was going to be not long enough, and within 20 minutes, I had somebody asking me for an autograph, which I thought was just amazing. Never had that in my life before. And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, I've got all the other YouTubers, model YouTubers, and I want to get yours." Excuse me. And he had a book with autographs in it. And he showed me the others, and I was like, "Yes, you're right," I said. "Give us your pen." Never mind them. Once I realised he wasn't kidding, And then I had another chap that wanted a selfie with me in the car park, taking selfies, and it was funny, really. And he wrote to me afterwards and said, "Thank you, thanks. I was the one that took the photo in the car park." And I said, "Oh, the selfie in the car park." And he said, "You make it sound like a romantic rendezvous." Married man, all good. Anyway, but it was funny. It was funny. So that's the level of support I got, and there were people coming up to me. There's a photograph which I'll have to show. I'll show it at Christmas, I think. Gary from Manchester, he took a photo of me being surrounded by some more fans and viewers. That was quite funny as well. So, yeah, and that was actually when I was examining the FX 109, the good one, at the actual Telford exhibition. So great that people are enjoying the channel and coming forward like that, and it's really nice to interact with people and meet them all and put faces to names. There's about a dozen or 15 people. I'm thinking, oh yeah, now I can put a face to the name, and it's always difficult when you don't know people. So that got cured as well, quite a lot of it. So thank you very much for the support through the year. I think that on the model side, we've talked about that separately, but on the model side, we'll definitely be making progress. So that'll become perhaps more of a pull for people. Once I get into top gear with this Mosquito, I think people are going to enjoy that. So that's coming soon. We might be having some changes with the house, or maybe even moving house next year. Don't know yet, but stay tuned. And I'll tell you about that more later. And until next time, I'll round it off here and just say, don't forget to support the other channel. Really appreciate it if you do. Need all your help. I've had all sorts of things this year. I've had kit donations and loans, and it's all helpful. It's all helpful. So, yes, thank you very much for everything, for all the great community spirit that we've got. I think that's absolutely brilliant. We have the live chats. It's always good fun, isn't it? There's always some good humour, which is much needed in the world today. I think we all need a good laugh and to try and chillax, as they say. Was it David Cameron who said that? Well, maybe not. Chill out, anyway. And have a bit of a break from the traumas of everyday life, really. So please continue to do that with me. Please support the channel. Thank you very much, and support the new channel. I'll put the link below. Sign up and subscribe. And what I might be doing as well, something that's coming up in the new year, I think. New Year blues. I might have a little bit of a sort of a kit raffle or something. I'm not going to do another auction, because it was incredibly hard work. That was. I mean, that was the other thing. We raised, what was it? I think, was it gross with the gift aid? It came to something like £2,700 in total for Ukraine and for the civilian charity and the pet charity. And I think over 2,000 of it went to the civilian charity. So I think 2,300 was the figure, wasn't it, for the civilians gross. Unbelievable. But I'm going to do. It was hard going. It was really hard work and time consuming. So I think what I might do is I might do a little maybe a raffle, perhaps once a quarter. I might have a raffle, a couple of kits on raffle for the members only, and people that are regulars in chat will be eligible only. Yeah. So get in the chat and get your seat at the front of the auditorium, so to speak. Something that I think we're going to start doing after Christmas, when things have calmed down. Watch this space. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Stay well, stay safe, and until next time, thank you very much for all your time. Thanks for watching and all the warm words of support throughout the year. I really appreciate it, and it's been a tough year actually on YouTube for me. I'm not the only one. It's been a hard graft, and the hardest part came at the worst time in a way. So it's only the support that's kept me going, really. And then obviously we've had this recent issue where I got a little bit of abuse, which I don't think was merited whatsoever. And again, the comments coming from the members and subscribers gave me complete confidence that I was doing the right things, saying the right things, and I will continue in that vein next year. Nothing's going to change in that respect. It's very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So thank you very much, and until next time, take care of yourself, stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.